I hadn't really thought about Star Wars The Old Republic in a while. I was really excited about it when it first came out, well, before it first came out, because as most of my friends know, I'm a really big Star Wars fan, especially the older movies, the prequels. And of course, as all of you know, I'm a very big MMORPG fan, so obviously Star Wars MMORPG just kind of made sense to me. And I was too late to the Galaxies party when Star Wars Galaxies was live to get in on that and be able to enjoy it. So I was quite excited when The Old Republic was announced, and I pre-ordered it and I played when it first came out. I was one of those, first wave of people to get to max level. I played a Sith Juggernaut, which I was really excited about because, I played Horde primarily in WoW, and I played Destruction on Warhammer. Like, I'm big into playing those, the bad guy faction. And I also always tend to gravitate towards tankier classes in MMOs. But I really enjoyed my initial leveling up. The story in the Old Republic was so good. It really felt like, that's one of the things I also really enjoyed about Final Fantasy XIV, is just the story that you play through as you're leveling up is so good. And the Sith especially, I have never leveled any of the Jedi or Republic side of things, so I can't really comment there. But both with the Juggernaut and later the Sorcerer that I leveled, the storylines were so good with all of the deception and betrayal and everything that goes on within the Sith Empire. It was so good and it was so much fun. I couldn't wait to get to the next story mission so that I could see what was going to happen next. But the main problem that I ran into is the problem that I generally run into with most MMORPGs, is that once I get to max level and I get to end game, I don't really seem to have as much fun. Like back in the day when I played, vanilla WoW and stuff, I got really into raiding and doing that end game content, but the more and more as time has gone on, I found myself not really getting into that stuff as much. And I don't know if it's just because I don't necessarily enjoy it, or if I just really don't have the time to fully commit to it like I once did. And I'm not saying, I don't know if the Old Republic's endgame really requires that much of a commitment, because again, I never really tried it, and of course now here we are. The max level was 50 then, I think it's like 75 or something now. So I'm sure it's a lot different than it was back then. But I remember getting to max level and I did some PvP at max level, and I think I did a couple dungeons and flashpoints, I guess they're called. And I had fun, but I didn't have a guild. None of the friends that said they were gonna play, I think, ended up playing, or they didn't end up getting to max level, one or the other. So I didn't really have anyone to play with. I was having trouble really finding a good group of people to do things with, and that seems to be one of the biggest challenges that I always have to overcome. But yeah, to me, the leveling experience was second to none. And I decided to jump back in and play recently after a friend of mine, Tim Timma, was live streaming him leveling a little Sith Marauder. And I was like, man, this looks like so much fun. I remember having a lot of fun with this game. I need to fire it back up and try it. And that tends to happen to me a lot, and I end up playing for like 15 minutes. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. But this time was actually quite different. I started playing my Sith Sorcerer, which was the last character that I leveled, and I think he was 55 when I started playing him, and he's now 58, and I've done several flashpoints. One of the coolest things that I realized when coming back is apparently now you can do flashpoints by yourself, because you can have both your companion that you normally have with you fighting, as well as there's this combat support droid that helps you fight, and you can do these flashpoints completely by yourself. And I was like, man, this is really cool, because as I just said, I always have trouble finding people to play with, and I don't like really playing with random groups that much. So I was playing through whatever the story missions that I was trying to do at the time, and they were like back-to-back flashpoints, and I was like, well, this is fine because I can just do them by myself. And just jumped right back into it, and I was enjoying the sorcerer playstyle so much. I remember playing back. I remember enjoying it while I leveled, but I've never been a really big caster player. Like, I have enjoyed playing, you know, a warlock and WoW and some other things, but like I've always kind of gravitated more towards melee, especially tank classes. But man, I was having so much fun playing my sorcerer, and I did those flashpoints, and I did some other quests, and like before I knew it, I was level 58. And I really think that I'm going to continue playing. I might not subscribe. I'm trying to keep my subscriptions to MMORPGs to a minimum right now. But if I do keep enjoying it, I probably will subscribe. Because the whole thing with free-to-play games is you always have that, you know, there's only so much that you can do, I guess, when you're not subscribed. I think the Old Republic is one of those that has a lot more freedom than certain ones do when it comes to whether you're a subscriber or not. But I do think you had to be subscribed to play the most recent expansion, maybe. I'm not really entirely sure on how it works, but I figured if the time ever comes that I level up enough to where it tells me I can't go any further without subscribing, then I'll just deal with that when the time comes. But I was really thinking about trying something new, because I have apparently a couple character boosts. I guess they gave some free max level or close to max level, I think it's level 70 character boosts on my account. So I was like making things and trying them out, because you can make them and then delete them, and if you don't do any, I think it's if you don't do any quests or dungeons or anything, like before you delete them, you get your token back. So I was trying to make some different classes and see what I think I might enjoy a lot, and I was having a tough time because I do have a mercenary that's in the 20s, I believe, and I remember having a lot of fun with that. But I was leaning towards trying a power tech, because that seemed really cool, and of course, you know, tankier. And then there's the other side of the sorcerer, the Sith assassin, and that's more of like a rogue class, but I think they can also have a tanking spec too, which is kind of cool. And then you've got the operatives and snipers, which normally, again, not really kind of my thing, but I thought about giving the sniper a try just because I was enjoying the sorcerer so much. I figured, well, if I'm enjoying this range class, maybe I'll enjoy the sniper too. So I don't really know what to do, though, because I guess the best thing to do would be start some from scratch and play them for a while, like start from level 1 and see, before I commit to actually boosting one to max level. Because I would hate to be like, okay, well, I'm going to do a sniper, but to really get the experience, I need to go and do some quests and do some, you know, flashpoints and things, and then it's like, well, now, if I delete this character, I'm not going to get my token back, and I'm kind of locked into it. So I think that's what I'm going to do, maybe, is start a couple things from scratch and play around with them. But I am definitely having a good time with the Old Republic. I might even try playing some of the Jedi classes, and I know that they're kind of mirrored. Like if you play a sorcerer and then you play a sage, I think it's called, for the Jedi, it's like playing the same thing, but the animations are different, the skills look different, they have different names, but at the end of the day they're mirrored classes to each other. So I guess the main difference between playing on one side or the other is going to be the story and, you know, the characters that you play with and everything. But I still think it could be kind of cool to check out that side too, just since I never did it. Plus, the commando dudes are really cool with that like big minigun thing that they have. I don't remember what it's called, but they seem like a pretty cool class to play too. So that's a good question for some of you Old Republic veterans. What do you think would be a good class for me to try next? So my Juggernaut and my Sorcerer are both in the 50s, and both of those are classes that I enjoyed a lot. So what would you recommend? And would you recommend that I try something from level 1 first before boosting? I think that's kind of a no-brainer, that would be a good idea. But even still, like, I'm kind of nervous to play something at level 70 when I haven't even leveled myself to 70 yet. So that might not be a good idea in general anyway. I might need to finish leveling something else up to 70 before I bother with one of those boosts. And also, let me know, like, subscribing wise, is it really worth it to subscribe, like, as far as while I'm still leveling, or should I wait to subscribe until I get to max level if I'm still enjoying it? Like, how do you really decide when it is a good time to subscribe or not? because I don't want to waste the money if I really don't need it at this point, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's kind of my my synopsis on coming back to the Old Republic in 2021. I'm definitely enjoying it. I definitely think it's a fun game, a good game. My wife tried it a couple years ago. I remember we tried it when it went free to play, and she thought it was fun too, and she's really not gotten into much besides WoW, so for her to enjoy it, I think that's pretty high praise as well. So I am planning on playing more, continuing to play while I'm not playing Return of Reckoning, because that's pretty much the only MMORPG I'm playing mainly right now is Return of Reckoning. So I think these will kind of be my two games on rotation for the time being. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. I appreciate you watching. Like the video if you did enjoy it. Subscribe if you have not already. And I will catch you guys on the next video.